Hey, welcome back to the Infamous Podcast. This is Brian.
This is Darryl.
And once again, 2 weeks in a row, this is take two. All right. You know, this episode 285, in 15 episodes, we have a very special treat for episode 300.
Yeah.
Hint, hint. Anyway, so this episode, Darryl, I decided to call Sometimes You Don't Stick the Landing. The superhero landing.
Yeah, you were talking about two takes. Maybe they should have done a take two for what we're about to talk about here.
So the subtitle, which was actually the title for a minute, is Captain Disappointing and his amazingly disappointing friends. So spoilers. All right, so this week we are talking about the Falcon, Captain America and the Winter Soldier season 1 finale. We are going to review Nightwing 79, number 79, not Nightwing the year 79, which would be kind of cool, but it would be Dick Grayson as Robin. And then we have news bites around Shang-Chi's trailer, Secret Invasion news, the Netflix MCU Heroes get a bit of an update. And then we're going to do our season finale pseudo review of spoiler-free review of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 6, One World, One Planet, or whatever it's called.
One people.
Well, I just don't. Anyway,
I don't care.
I don't care. And then if you want to hear like our full thoughts, go subscribe on patreon.com/infospodcast, where I personally am going to hold 0 bars back to have it Katie bar the door, if you will. Like JR will be listening to the podcast looking at Jerry the King Lawler going, "Oh my God, King!"
So yeah,
how much I'm going to rip into this.
So anytime I hear Katie bar the door, I think of the program.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Latimer.
Yeah.
Oh, Latimer.
Put the women and children in bed. Let's go looking for dinner.
Yup. I like when he asks him, "Are you hurt? Are you injured?"
Are you injured?
Yeah. I had a coach that like said that to me, like when I was young, like, you know, and so, you know, not being right in the head like I am, like, yeah, I was never ever injured ever again. I was always hurt. To the point where, like, you know, I ran a stress fracture through to a hairline fracture in my shin.
Yeah, I was about to
when
say.
I was legitimately injured and should not have been on the track.
Okay, David Goggins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, yeah, so the first thing up is Shang-Chi and the trailer of Doom. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So I watched this.
I've only watched it once. Now that I think about it,
that's all I have to say about it is that I watched it.
Yeah. I did see a couple funny memes about it though. Like, yeah. Like about the Asian parent being disappointed in their son or their kid.
Yeah. So apparently Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings official teaser is not playing well in the target demographic of China. And I'm curious as to how many people here are saying, "Oh, I love it," because they're afraid of not liking something Asian right now.
Good point. I think a lot, again, because we see this with, if you know, I've been lurking and pseudo active on some of these videos for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's what I'm still calling it.
Yeah.
And people,
well, that's what it's called. I mean,
yeah. And people, you know, they jump on you when you have a different opinion about this more vehemently than they would, I think, something like, say, WandaVision.
Sure.
And it's because of that, you know, the angle of race injection, and
but with Shang-Chi, right? We'll get to Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So with Shang-Chi, right? The martial arts part of the trailer was great. It's great. It's going to be a very nicely done action film. I have a feeling. Shang-Chi. So if Iron Man was a C-list character before the MCU stuff started, Shang-Chi is like a double Y character. Like I know who Shang-Chi is because I've read comic books since I was 8 years old. The most notable modern thing of Shang-Chi is probably like 10 years ago with Spider Island, or right before Spider Island. I think that was about 10 years ago. I don't know. We're in 2021, 2020 time still. So like, centuries could have passed and we don't know. But the most notable thing he's done really recently was he taught Peter Parker Kung Fu when there was it was the Jackal who created these dampeners so Spider-Man couldn't use his Spidey sense. And it was great. It was a great story arc. And Shang-Chi is a very interesting character. I will say, in the trailer, I read more Asian Iron Fist than I did Shang-Chi.
And yes, I had that distinct feeling too watching the trailer.
So it was kind of like they're trying to like satiate some people who complained about Iron Fist being a white guy when Iron Fist is a white guy. And I personally dig Awkwafina's weird little vibe as an actress. I couldn't tell you a single song that she does. If she sings or raps, I have no idea. But I saw her for the first time in Crazy Rich Asians, and I loved her. She was my favorite part of the movie. She's got the weird little sitcom-y show on HBO Max, and I've only watched the first episode, but it's very funny. And she showed up in other... I forget what it's called.
I didn't know that.
It's so funny, I forget what it's called. It's in my list. If you want to just pop into my account and look, it's something with Awkwafina. I don't know, but it's funny. And or the first episode was funny, and I definitely want to watch more. But people had an adverse reaction to her. Something about cultural appropriation, which I didn't bother to read because I don't care. But like I, for the life of me, couldn't figure out what she was culturally appropriating. Do you have more insight into that?
Like you said, I was thoroughly unimpressed with the trailer. But again, this was like a teaser. When is this supposed to come out? September?
Yes.
Yeah.
So is Black Widow
July?
Okay, because it was June and it got pushed back to July, and this was supposed to be July, so it got pushed back to August or September.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
did you see Black Widow got a new subtitle?
What is it?
Black Widow in the Unnecessary Film.
Well, that's better than Black Widow and the unexpected fall. The fall with the unexpected stop at the end.
Black Widow in the basement.
But yeah, so again, I like Awkwafina, but she's one of those actresses or actors, they're comedians that I like in doses, and if I get too much of them, they start to grate on me, and that's kind of how she is. That's how she was in Crazy Rich Asians.
See,
so it's not that I don't like her.
Whatever her name was, Picklin. I think it was Picklin. I thought she was great, and she was used just enough, and she was such a foil to how uptight Jessica Cho's character was. It was great, and the couple scenes she had with like Henry Golding, I thought she was great.
Yeah. So again, she is like, she gets put in doses, or she tones it down, because I think there was a scene where she actually toned it down in Crazy Rich Asians, and you saw a little bit more of her character. But she's not going to make or break the movie. The action looked good enough. I don't know. I got that same Iron Fisty vibes. I'm just hoping for something more in the second trailer, because again, I'm gonna go see it. I'm not gonna act like I'm not. I'm gonna go see it.
It's not like the Eternals where I'm just gonna skip it, right? I mean, I'll
probably go see that too. I mean, it's like I don't really care about it. Honestly,
if I see it, it'll be like the second weekend.
Yeah, so
like, I'm not rushing out to get the thing from the Eternals.
Yeah, and again, this is the same thing with Shang-Chi for me. I'm excited for. Well, I won't say I'm excited until I'm actually in the seats and and the opening credits roll on Black Widow. Then I'll be really excited. But these two, Shang-Chi and the Eternals, it's there's nothing about them to really for me to be excited about. So again,
Yeah.
it's like
Here's
one of being
here's
a
what's gonna happen to you
completionist.
with Black Widow is you're gonna sit down and be like, yeah, no, we're rolling it back to next week.
Yeah. Or it's going to be like when I think it was Gladiator. I had like 30 minutes or 40 minutes into the movie, like the sound cut out for
Oh
like 2 or
no.
3 minutes. Yeah. Luckily, it was like one of the senators talking, doing their back, dealings.
Nobody cares when a senator talks.
Yeah. So pretty much.
I certainly don't.
Yeah, the trailer didn't do a lot for me,
Yeah.
but we'll see. We'll see what it brings.
Like I said, I thought it looked nice, but at the end of the day, it's just I'm not really excited for anything in Phase 4.
I'm not, except like some of the maybe some of the potential. Notice I said potential. Some of the potential stuff on the small screen.
Yeah,
that's like Loki's coming out.
I don't know. Even the small screen stuff after what we saw today.
But then you say remember what we saw in with WandaVision. So we're 1 for 2 right now.
Yeah, but even WandaVision kind of like ended on like a down note, if you will.
Oh, I don't mind it ending
which
on
I didn't mind it either, but like I'm talking about I'm talking about like the majority of my friends online did not like WandaVision at all. And they certainly didn't like the end. And so far, everybody like response, which admittedly I was in meetings all day. Like I only got to watch it at lunch, quickly. So some of the reactions that I saw after I watched it are none too flattering. So
it's funny you say that because most of my friends love the end of WandaVision.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, I was probably the most harsh on it, but all of them had issues with it. Like even though they said they liked it, they said there were some issues with it. So yeah.
Right. Cool. All right. So moving on to continue with Marvel. This is a Marvel heavy episode. Marvel. I could have called that episode. I think we called an episode a long time ago. All right. So, Secret Invasion, is going to be a thing, apparently. So they have cast Emilia Clarke, Daenerys Targaryen, not
Sarah
Connor, in a. She's in the final. This is according to Variety. So it says here she's in the final negotiations to join Marvel. You notice how they're calling everything Marvel Studios apostrophe whatever now. Marvel Studios Secret Invasion, the hot original series quickly coming together at Disney Plus. So it's announced as a developmental property last year, of one of the many planned Disney Plus titles. Sam Jackson will be in there as Nick Fury. Ben Mendelsohn returns as Talos. Ben Kingsley, it says King. Oh,
it's
Kingsley Ben Adir. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's going to be the villain.
Okay, and Olivia,
or the main antagonist,
Coleman.
I should say.
So. So it follows a group of shape-shifting aliens who have been infiltrating Earth for years. Ben Arden has been set as the main villain. So we're going to have good Skrulls and bad Skrulls.
How are we going to tell the difference?
So the ones that are green are bad.
Is this Skrulls to say that?
Well, all Skrulls are green.
Yeah.
Do Skrull lives matter?
I was going to say, is it going to be like the, white and green Martians?
No, that would be a ripoff of the Martians from DC, which are, whatever. Which were, I think, have been around longer than the Skrulls. At least the green Martian shapeshifters. Anyway, I, for one, am not excited when I hear about Daenerys Targaryen showing up and stuff. I thought she was fine as Daenerys Targaryen, but everything else I've seen her in, I've just kind of been like, her? Like why did they cast her?
I haven't actually seen her in anything else. I know she's in Last Christmas, which I actually want to see because I do like her, but
she was in Soylo, a Soy Wars story. She was
I liked her in I liked her in that. Fine enough. Well enough, I should say.
I like the action figure. The action figure was kind of cool. She was in Terminator Genesis, which is the worst, even worse than Dark Fate.
I couldn't get past the first 30 minutes of that movie.
It's because Jai Courtney has only ever been good in one thing. Actually, let me rephrase that. Jai Courtney has only ever been good in two things.
Yeah.
And it's Terminator Genesis and Die Hard 5 or 6, whichever one he shows up as John McClane's grown-up kid who's a spy for the CIA, obviously. Not at all Spartacus or Suicide Squad.
Yes.
So, although I will say Nick Terabee was a much better Captain Boomerang on Arrow.
Yes. I love him in he was
everything. Everything. He's
like Spartacus in The Expanse.
Yep. In Arrow.
Yep.
And whatever else he shows up in. Anyway, so I don't know. I mean, I guess this is a big story because she's a big actor for what was the biggest show on the planet that just dropped out of the political zeitgeist immediately upon exit.
Yeah, it's like people don't want to say they watched Game of Thrones after the final season.
I mean, the last season wasn't horrible. It could have been better. No. It should have been. They should have added an episode, or better yet, the Double D's should have just turned the show over to somebody else.
100%.
Because they're like, if they don't want to do it, then get out. Let someone else do it. It needed to go on for 3 more years to tell the story right. Instead, you guys jetpacked your way through it. Anyway, so there's that. And then let's move on to the next one. Can
I just start this one by saying that's what I think about this.
So, all right. So this is a mix of sports and MCU-ness. I just gotta say, LeBron James can go jump in a lake and stop saying the word Ohio. Don't even say you're from here anymore, dude. We don't claim you. I mean, I never did, but so it says here, with NBA ratings in decline, Disney tries to provide a boost with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Disney owned MS ESPN of China. Gotcha, Matrix. Will provide a Marvel themed telecast called Arena of Heroes. Excuse me. On May 3rd, for the May 3rd game between the Golden State Warriors and the New Orleans Pelicans. That's not a marquee game.
No, it's not.
It's really not. The telecast will feature Iron Man, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Captain America, Black Widow, and Doctor Strange as 3D virtual characters. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Iron Man and Black Panther will recruit 3 players from both teams to stop an impending threat. For the Golden State Warriors, they already announced that this is so stupid. For the Golden State Warriors, the players are Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins. Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball will be recruited from the Pelicans. I guarantee you Zion Williams gets hurt.
I was about to say, he's probably won't even play.
Yeah. As the game progresses, the players will be awarded Marvel hero points for each point, rebound, assist, block, and steal. However, they will lose points if they miss shots or turn the ball over. All right. All they're doing is forcing these 6 dudes to just jack up shots. Like, it's seriously, if this is going to be like, do a 3-on-3, go get the Ice Cube 3-on-3 ball, or 3-ball or whatever it's called, which actually it's fun to watch. That's the only basketball I'll watch anymore, by the way. And do it there. This is stupid. The NBA is a joke as it is lately, but this makes it worse. Yeah. So Yeah.
As they say, this reeks of desperation because no one wants to watch. I shouldn't say no one. Very few people want to watch the NBA now because one, and again, taking away my issues with the NBA from a basketball standpoint, because I've stopped watching the NBA years ago just because I don't like the product. That's just me. But there are people who actually like the product who have decided to move away because the NBA, well, no, not just the NBA. Sports is an escapist arena where we want to watch.
I don't watch sports anymore.
Yeah, where we want to watch something and forget about everyday life for 2 freaking hours. But now with everything going on, the social over the last several years, these sports are trying to inject themselves in stuff that we don't want to look. If you want to, be politically active, that's one thing. I don't care. Fine. You're a human being. You have your rights. However, when you inject it into something where I'm watching to escape that, why would I want to watch it then? And that's what a lot of people are saying, because if you look at the ratings over, and they gave a couple examples of the ratings and how they were down from a similar game from 2019.
Yeah.
It shows that, because I think it was like in the article, it says 34% of people said they have stopped watching the NBA because of the social justice stuff.
Well, sports, just sports in general.
Yeah, sports.
Not just the NBA.
And I think maybe only 11% of people said they started watching it more, which I kind of find that hard to believe, but whatever. It's an escapist arena that we want to go to. I don't care about the crap that they put on their jerseys, whether it be football. I love college football.
Well, hold on. Before we start dunking on the NBA, let me finish something here.
Oh, okay.
Not only will the telecast feature a number of Avengers as 3D virtual characters, augmented reality characters, but commentators Ryan Rucco and Richard Jefferson, is that Rip?
Yeah, no, you're thinking Rip Hamilton.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah, Richard Jefferson. Yeah,
you're right. Anyway, so we'll be set up in a Marvel-themed studio to call the game, and they will be joined by Angelique Roque, who will provide analysis. Vice President of Programming and Acquisition at ESPN of China stated, We're eager for fans to experience this unique, innovative presentation that will pair Marvel and ESPN exceptional storytelling and production. I didn't realize ESPN was in the... Oh, wait, never mind. They are in the business of telling stories. They put it under the guise of news. Here's the funny thing. This is why I really wanted to talk to this. Douchebag LeBron James is in Sports Jam 2 coming out later this year. By the way, don't watch it. Just don't. Don't support that guy in anything that he does. But he's in Sports Jam, which is a Warner Brothers movie with all the Looney Tunes characters. Or not Looney Tunes. Yeah, Looney Tunes characters.
Looney Tunes. You're right.
And they couldn't get the Looney Tunes characters to do this? Like to tie into their alleged biggest star?
Yeah, that's kind
instead they got to go with the Disney-owned like Marvel shoehorn. Like it's just ridiculous. But yeah, no, your ratings. Well, one, the ESPN is getting beat by things on like A&E and AMC and the Food Network. It is.
Although I have been watching Food Network stuff, Tournament of Chefs.
Who doesn't like watching
that's actually
the Food
pretty.
Network?
It's pretty fun, actually.
But I mean, like AEW and even WWE with its crap ratings crush the NBA right now, and not just in like the overall viewership, but in the key demo.
That's
18 to 49.
bad.
Like AEW is like the number 2 show on the night for the key demo on cable.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean it's a good show. I mean it's good wrestling. But yeah, this is just, I mean, people don't want to watch this. So the Yahoo News YouGov found 34.5% of respondents said they were watching less sports because of social justice messaging. Only 11% of respondents said they were watching more sports of social justice messaging. I'll tell you this. I've watched so little sports over the last few years, I should probably just call it sports ball because I'm not a sports fan anymore.
Well,
I mean, that's not true. I'm still a sports fan.
Yeah.
But.
I the only sports I watch consistently is, combat sports.
Yeah.
So and a lot of that times I'll watch those on just online. I'll catch it. I'll look up a fight or something.
Like I like the adventure sports, like all the Red Bull series stuff. Like what crazy motherfucker can we put on a bike and throw them off a mountain and see how they get down it? Sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Crushed Ice. Have you ever seen Crushed Ice?
No.
Okay, so Crushed Ice is great. It's a ice course that they make, and it's pretty much just a downhill. And it's 4 guys, and they ice skate downhill and go over jumps and like some obstacles and things like that. And then at one point they have to skate like up a steep hill and then down and do a big jump to finish. And they're going through like turns and it's amazing. And I still want to try it. But like, I mean, these guys are crazy, but it's awesome. So, but yeah, no, there's so many other things to watch besides the NBA. And I'll tell you, with what we've seen from Marvel lately, it's going to be some weird, thing. I don't understand why they're trotting out Black Panther related to anything Marvel, since they're not going to recast Chadwick Boseman with John David Washington.
It's almost like they didn't think about it, and they didn't think about it from the standpoint of what they're doing for the future. They're just thinking, hey, Black Panther is very popular, or was very popular when it came out, so let's use that.
Yeah,
they didn't think this through.
No, it's not even.
This is a very bad idea. Although I wonder if I almost notice I said almost. I almost want to tune in just to make fun of it, but I will do something else with my time.
Yeah, like beat myself in the head with a hammer, throw myself into a lake, eat a bee.
That's the bee thing doesn't sound fun at all.
No, it doesn't sound fun at all, but it's more fun than watching an NBA with AR Marvel people in there. But yeah. All right, let's go to our last bit of news bite here. And so the Netflix MCU characters are mostly coming back, apparently. So you found this one. So this was from MovieWeb. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and the Punisher rumored to return to the MCU, but with a twist.
When I see that, I always say it that way too.
Thank you, Robot Chicken, for that. What a twist! What a twist! What a twist! So sources have claimed Charlie Cox is Daredevil, John Barenthal's the Punisher, and Kristen Ritter's the Jessica Jones will return to the MCU, but they won't be the Netflix versions. Left out of that headline, though, is the most important Netflix TV character, and that is Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk / Kingpin.
Well, in the other art, later on
he's
in the article,
I'm saying he should have been. It should have led with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, the best character across all of these shows, will return. They're going to recast Luke Cage, which makes zero sense because Mike Coulter is the perfect casting for that. And Iron Fist, which Finn Jones was the least perfect casting for that.
The only thing I can think of with Mike Coulter is he's in that show Evil, which I don't even know if it got picked up for season 2.
Mike Coulter's in another show.
Yeah.
Called
It's
Evil.
on. Yeah, he plays actually a priest, or I think.
Is it on TV or like streaming? Is it?
It's on stream. It's on Netflix now, but it was on
Quibi Originals or whatever.
No, it was on CBS, maybe.
Okay.
So it
says here the idea that Marvel reboot characters, but with the same actors, suggests that the Netflix shows will be rendered non-canon, much like everything else from the now defunct Marvel Television. This does not come as too much of a surprise, as Kevin Feige had very little to no involvement with many of these projects. But the idea that they will keep the actors while rebooting the background has been established does seem a little silly, especially with the likes of Daredevil and Jessica Jones were so well received. So the best thing about this article was the very first comment from Bruce Fanner. It says, "This does not come as much as a surprise, as Kevin Feige had little to no involvement with many of these projects. No wonder they were so good. Nothing against Kevin Feige, but part of the greatness of these Netflix shows was the realistic nature in which these anti-heroes were portrayed. Real life is sometimes R-rated. Disney needs to find a way to address this instead of making every title family friendly. Marvel Studios has tried very hard to stay true to these characters, and fans deserve that. As far as I know, Deadpool will be the only now Disney-owned title to remain rated R. Even the Blade reboot will get a PG-13 treatment. I just hope the stories don't suffer as a result." That right there sums up everything that I was thinking when I heard this.
Yeah, that's. This is like that double-edged sword. I love the fact that they're bringing these actors back. Although again, Mike Coulter not being back, unless again it was a schedule
perfect
conflict or something. Dude, I loved him as Luke Cage, but that double-edged sword is we're leaving out the stories that were so damn good. Like Daredevil, all 3 seasons were from good to great.
Yeah.
I really loved the first season of Jessica Jones.
I loved Punisher. All of Jessica Jones. I'm not even gonna pretend.
Yeah.
That was my favorite one of all of them.
Yeah. The Punisher, okay, the seasons of the Punisher weren't as good, but Bernthal, his introduction in season 2 of Daredevil was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and it just seems like it's a shame that they're going to leave these stories out, and meaning not referencing them. Although if we get another Kilgrave, if they bring Dave Tennant back or something like that, I mean, in one way I would like it because I loved his character so much.
Yeah.
In another way, you think about it again. What that comment said is all these are the MCU water stuff down.
They're gonna bring Kilgrave back, but it'll be a woman, and it'll be the Purple Woman.
Yeah, and
the Purple Woman.
And even if they didn't do it that way, they're not going to go into what he did to Jessica Jones.
Well, no, So the other thing too that the Marvel Disney Plus stuff has been doing is they're not going to have any cool ass hallway fights. It's going to be all abandoned warehouse fights.
Yeah, we saw that a lot in this last 6 weeks.
Like, did you just hear my eyes roll? I felt like you probably heard it because like it was a minor tremor across the entire planet. That's how hard I rolled my eyes. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, I like that these actors are being brought back. I love that they're being brought back, but I don't like that we're just abandoning the stories that made them so endearing to me.
So like, I don't like
and to us.
I don't like stans. You know, like the term stan is creepy and weird, but I am all in on Kristen Ritter. Like I bought in early on Kristen Ritter when stock prices were low, and I've got diamond hands and I refuse to sell. She like, you know, she was great on Veronica Mars. She was great on Breaking Bad. She was great when she got her own series, Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23, or Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, as they sanitized it down to. And then when they cast her as Jessica Jones, I wasn't sure, right? I like my diamond hands wavered a little bit, but I held on, and she was perfectly cast as Jessica Jones.
Yeah, she was so good in that show, and
she's a tasty dish.
Yeah, and again, one of the things I love about these series is again, going back to that comment, the real world is sometimes pretty messy, and we don't get to see that much in the MCU. We even though it sort of try to tackle that issue, you know, with the blip, and was still a stupid term. The blip with
the snapping. Let's just call it the snapping.
Yeah, the snapping in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They went like one level deep on it.
Yeah, we'll get to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and again, that just goes to a bigger, broader point on the MCU as a whole, not tackling things the down and dirty, the way that Daredevil did, that the Punisher did, that Luke Cage did, that Jessica Jones did. Yeah, I'm not going to say Iron.
Yep. I mean, Iron Fist like had some down and dirty moments to it. Like,
yeah, and season 2 was far better.
He didn't own shoes. He was still a billionaire, even though like he'd been legally dead for 20 years. He was just allowed to walk right back into his family's company with no education, other than telling anyone who would listen that he's the Iron Fist. I mean, that's real. That's things that real crazy people who end up institutionalized do. Anyway, all right. Enough. So we're gonna take a break from Marvel for just a second here. And
palate cleanser.
Yeah, we're gonna cleanse the palate with Nightwing 79. So the summary for this one is Nightwing has inherited Alfred's fortune, a puppy, and a whole lot of questions. Who is Mayor Zucco, and what is her relation to the man who murdered Dick's parents? We already know that. Anyway, what sinister plan does Blockbuster have for Blüdhaven? What kind of dog food is best for a three-legged puppy? That's a good question. And to answer these questions, Dick is going to need a little help from his friends past and present. So I like this issue. I don't love this issue. I like the third panel after he orders 2 slices of pizza and Barbara says, seriously? And she says, what, you're billionaire now? And he goes, all right, 4 slices, please.
Yeah.
So, and then, it gets into why he loves Blüdhaven. Like, I really liked the way this episode was going at first. I did like how she called him out for wearing the tightest costume of any of them.
Yeah, it's the self-confidence
yeah
thing.
That was pretty funny. The statue of like the Kraken and the Whaler is pretty freaking sweet. Like if I lived in a town with something like that would be my favorite spot to go to. So and then it opens up and it's got a homeless man and his son. I'm guessing they're homeless because they ask if he's got some spare change, and then Dick being Dick gets the idea and has them invite everybody they know back to Marvin George's, Marv Wolfman, George Perez, pizza 24 hours. And Dick buys food for everybody, and it's letting people take food and everything. And he offers to put the guy and his son up in the hotel for a month while they figure things out, and he's going to check back in. And then he's been pickpocketed. Like the world's fourth greatest detective and third greatest martial artist has been pickpocketed. And then Barbara blows up the text chain about it.
So I think it's hilarious that they have the bat text chain.
Right?
Group, or bat chat.
So this is not a bad issue. I just think this would have been a better like 4th or 5th issue, especially after everything that happened in the first one. But yeah, like this was it started off kind of funny and then it got real dark. There's a guy with a metal mask with a heart extractor.
Yeah.
And he kills the homeless dad. Which is I will say the art, I really like the art. This is Bruno Redondo. I haven't always been super fan of his art, but I kind of like the kind of pop art way he's drawing some of this, and I really do like the coloring and everything that's in this book. It fits Nightwing, kind of like Phil Hester. His art doesn't fit every character, but it fit Green Arrow really well, especially a Kevin Smith Green Arrow. That's like Tad Ramos. Tad Ramos is Spider-Man. Doesn't like his art doesn't always work for everything, but I really like his Spider-Man. You know what I mean? I don't know how you feel about this.
Yeah. So one thing I did like about the art let me backtrack real quick. I love the bookend of this.
Yeah.
And what we were talking about beforehand, this is like the perfect bun in the sense of how it starts and how it ends. but there is just a little light on the toppings in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, so it starts off where, I love how he's, that kind of like montage of where he's saying, I was never afraid to fall because I always had a safety net.
Right.
And it was whether it be with his family, the Flying Graysons, Bruce, his other father, Alfred, the Teen Titans, all of this. And he's trying to figure out, what he wants to do, with the fact that he wants to do more than he's doing.
Right.
And I love how he finally understands by the end of the issue what he wants to do. He wants to be a safety net for other people. So I love that, like that bookend of him trying to figure it out. And him getting pickpocketed I love that, because I just laughed. I was
it's
like,
very rich.
Yeah. I was like, this guy who is this badass who does all this stuff, and he got pickpocketed. It's hilarious.
But the part where they lose me is when Boss Maroney is there and he doesn't recognize this woman that he's talking to. It's like, how do you not recognize one of the city council members of Blüdhaven? Like, you're supposed to know everything. Like,
one thing they do mention is they do a callback to him being shot in the head, and Barb's, she even says, like, you're not going to remember everything.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So,
but I think, like, knowing who the city leaders are and, like, unless she's like new, they haven't really said how long she's been in office. Because I'm thinking the name Zucco would like be a warning sign for him to follow this person
start
everywhere she
firebending?
goes. Well, maybe. She more likely she will start jerk bending. So, and Sokka will come by and ask her how the jerk bending's going, since they're a couple of jerks. I love that scene. So like that, the whole thing with like Boss Maroney and his mooks, is where it kind of loses me. I will say the splash page in the middle of the issue, where he jumps off the building, over the bus, over the car, and just like Superman punches that guy right out of his shoes. I love it. It's great. Like and like one of the great things about Nightwing is because he's so acrobatic. It really gives these artists a chance to do something different with how they show what he's doing. And I like how Redondo like really like showed this, because sometimes what they'll do is like the last one will be like almost, or whatever, the first motion is almost imperceptible, like, and it just gets more and more solid until you get to the final, like, where he is now. But I liked how he didn't do that. It just kind of is the same like just washed out version of him until he gets there. I don't know. I really, really like that.
Yeah.
And then in the like the next page, when it shows he's done, and he's kind of like, he's done a pseudo superhero landing, but it's kind of a bow at the same time. It's just the you can take the boy out of the circus, but you can't take the circus out of the boy.
Yeah.
and so my question here is Melinda Zucco saw this, right? She saw how Nightwing entered the scene. Like, I feel like this is enough for her to know that Dick Grayson is Nightwing, because she's got the Flying Graysons poster. She's obsessed with Dick. She if she doesn't know already, I feel like this would be a great way for her to like know.
Yeah, I'm just looking at what you're talking about, the look she's given him as he's bandying about. So this was kind of the slowdown part in the issue for me as well, but with you mentioning something like that, what he's doing, will it be enough for her to pick out who he is?
Yeah,
that could add that little nugget right there.
I mean, they set her up in the first issue as a very capable villain,
right?
Or if she's going to be a villain, as a very capable person, and so yeah, I like that. I think him finding the kids camp, was a little weird. But I liked the decision, like you said, that he came to. And I liked how he was like, no, just like keep the wallet. Like, but the little girl saying, please don't hurt us, like, he's not Batman. Like, not that Batman would hurt a kid, but the little like thought bubble as he's, you know, swinging away. Blüdhaven never fails to hurt me. This is a place that he loves, and Tom Taylor really understands this. Whereas Jurgens did okay with it, but like Blüdhaven is his adopted home, the one he chose. And so, you know, he wants to save it so bad, but it's this abusive relationship. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. And like you said, at the end, he wants to be the safety net for the city and catch the people who have fallen. And then we end with Heartless. I guess I'm assuming that's what they're going to call this guy standing over the dead body of the homeless man. Yeah, I mean, this was, it's a fine issue, right? And you know, pickpocketing street urchins out of 5, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Like it's, you know, it's really better than average. I just think this would have been a much more powerful issue 3 or 4 issues from now.
Yeah, with him having a few issues, you know, reacquainting himself and reacquainting us with this journey of this version of him in the city and everything, and him.
Yeah, and seeing Blockbuster, maybe a little more of Blockbuster. Like, we don't see any of Blockbuster, but seeing a little more of what Blockbuster has planned for Melinda. And because you in the first issue, you reintroduce Blockbuster, you introduce Melinda Zucco. You know, you introduce a crooked city council, and now you've introduced Heartless. Until they give him a name, I'm calling him Heartless. And it's kind of, is that too much? And we didn't even see the puppy, really. We just got that Dick was curious if the kibble was any good.
Yeah, and the puppy ate twice his weight kibble.
Yeah,
according to Babs.
So
yeah, I give it a 3.5 as well. You know, it was good.
Yeah,
I think it was too early in this new run for a, you know, that kind of slow down type, because that's what this is.
Yeah,
that kind of introspective slow down type issue where the hero's kind of reevaluating his priorities and stuff like that.
And again, I think you're right. This is a reevaluation issue that could have been a few issues from now, even 2 issues from now. I don't know. Where he's been like go, and you know, he's not a character who is easily frazzled. You know what I mean? And you see that here. He's you know, he's upset, he's embarrassed that he lost his wallet, but it doesn't stop him from tracking it down, and in the meantime saving those kids from the mobsters. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that nothing slowed him down. Even the tent city of kids, he's more ashamed that he scared them than he is shocked, you know, like, or he's taken aback, but he's not, it's not throwing him off his game.
Right.
So, but it leads to I want to be the safety net for the city. I want to catch those people who have fallen. Again, like, show us, like, and you know, longtime readers understand Blüdhaven, and longtime Nightwing fans understand what a cesspool Blüdhaven is. But if you show us more of that, like, it just makes what happens in this issue, especially losing the homeless man, all the more powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, good.
So, yeah, Martin. That was his name, Martin.
Yeah. But I think it would have been better if it would have been properly positioned. And who knows? Maybe a few weeks from now, after we read a few months from now, after reading a couple more issues, we'll be like, okay, this was properly placed. But right now, from what the first 2 issues we have, I think this should have been a couple issues out.
Yep. So, you know, like I said, 3 out of 5, or 3.5 out of
3.5 out of 5.
You know,
yep.
It's a good issue. It's a solid issue. The art's really good. The writing's really good. It's just, it feels out of place.
Yeah, it does.
So, all right. So on to our last story. the Captain Falcon and the Winter America. Wait,
Try that again.
The White Falcon and U.S. No, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Episode 6, One Planet, One World.
One world, one people.
Okay, I just gotta say, this is a bit of a spoiler, but I'm so happy Carly got.
I wasn't happy how though.
No, I was just happy she got. I would have been okay if like she fell down a manhole.
No, when I say how, I meant how they played her death.
Oh well, yeah.
I did not like that.
The outcome of Sam's decisions following her death didn't make a lot of sense, but we'll get deeper into that in the commentary. So, Sam's got the new costume,
which is very nice.
It's fantastic. The only thing I don't like about it, and I don't like this about any of the superhero costumes, is when they do the little like half cowl where they leave the top of the head open. Because in comic books, that's just like a pixel wide. In reality, it makes your head kind of look weird. Like Kid Flash, his head looked really weird with that open, especially when his hair was short before he grew it out on the Flash.
Yeah.
You know, that was the only weird thing about it.
That bugged me too. But other than that, I really like it.
Minor gripe, right? I mean, this is exactly what it looked like in Nick Spencer's book.
100%.
It's comic accurate to the T or to the feather. I thought the use of the new costume was good. I liked when he made his grand entrance, shield first. That was really good. He's got like multiple Red Wings now.
Yeah, it's an upgrade. So I'm assuming the wings are some vibranium or something, because I mean Wesley, Bucky got them from the Wakandan, so they like their vibranium.
Are pretty stingy with their vibranium though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. So we get Batroc showing up. We learn that Sharon is the power broker, which we've known since she showed up, to be honest. Yeah, I will say I really liked Walker in this episode.
Yeah, I really did too.
I thought it's so funny. Like I saw all these memes about Walker where it showed. It was like, who was it? It was like showing a picture of somebody who like, killed somebody and went to jail, and it's Walker, kills somebody and gets away with it. And it's like, well, the other person you're talking about, like, just killed somebody. He killed a terrorist who killed an agent of the U.S. government. Like, and
was going to help kill him.
Yeah.
So
it's
that. Little details like that people tend to like. When people don't like a character or don't like something somebody does, they purposefully leave out the details that change the whole context of what happened or what was said.
Well, because here's the thing with Walker, right? You and I, like, I'm not going to speak for you. I liked Walker the entire time. I really liked his hero's journey that he went through.
One of my favorite parts of this series is
he's the best part of the show.
Through. Yes.
Actually, let me rephrase that. He's the second best part of the show after Zemo.
Yeah, Nemo. You're a Nemo fanboy.
I'm a Zemo stan.
Zemo. Yeah.
So, dude, I'm a Zemo-niac.
That club video of the extended version of it is great.
Oh, that's so good. His dancing. Yeah. And we got a little bit of Daniel Bruhl in this episode, so that was good. His butler.
Don't mess with his butler.
Yeah, don't mess with the butler. So I liked the action. I thought the action was pretty good. Sam in the terrorist van or hostage van was a little unbelievable. I would have liked to seen like Bucky and John actually like do something there instead of watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm always excited to see George Pierce show up and stuff. George St. Pierre show up and stuff. So it was nice to see Batroc back for however brief we got him. Yeah, I think there's a lot to break down here, and
Yeah.
without spoiling too terrible much, Sam going to see Isaiah Bradley was like Sam going to see Sarah. It kind of slowed things down. It had a nice like outcome, when he told him to get cleaned up, and took him to see what he showed him. I liked how Isaiah's grandson called him White Falcon. I mean, the suit's all white,
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, how did you? Okay, so you're black, so I'm gonna ask you to speak for your race. No, I'm kidding. I felt like Sam's monologue there at the end was out of character for Sam. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I also think he made Carly a martyr instead of so Carly, who killed plenty of people and was planning to kill more, gets martyr status, and that didn't sit right with me.
And that's exactly what I meant by I did not like how her death ended up, how it was portrayed.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two things about Sam. I love Sam in this series, and the struggles he went through, internally about taking this mantle. I'm not good enough or whatever, and finally getting here. His speech. One, if he was in a Senate hearing or something, okay, that's fine. But it was just out of character for him to just go on and on and on and on in where they were, and it just happened, in the situation where it was at. It was overwrought. It was really heavy-handed. It was way too long.
Yeah. Well, what it felt like is the scene in Tommy Boy when he tricked Dan Aykroyd into buying the brake pads because they were on the news.
But with that being said, so that part I didn't like. It did not hit me like they were trying to hit it.
Right. Right.
They were trying to. What did though is when, even though I thought, like we've talked about Isaiah before, I've loved the scenes with him and Isaiah because even though I disagree with Isaiah's point of view, I love that I can understand it from what he's been through.
Yeah.
And I love when Sam told him, basically, I'm not going to stop fighting for this country, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I didn't get it right. That, like, for whatever reason, that really resonated with me. And that showed me, and again, that was just a reminder of who Sam was versus the long that overdrawn speech, after Carly, and him coming flying down like an angel holding Carly's body like she was.
So I didn't like Malcolm Spellman understands Sam Wilson. He's the showrunner, and I'll get to the article you sent here in a little bit, but he's the showrunner, and I don't feel like he understood Sam or Bucky really. I feel like both of them were caricatures of who we saw, and maybe it's because the Russos are just such good storytellers that none of this is gonna live up to any of that.
Yeah, and again, what Spellman did, he had moments of being close to reaching that, but far too often, it was slogged down by an antagonist that really did not feel. I didn't feel that antagonist in the Flag Smashers.
Right.
It was bogged down by unnecessary, too on the nose virtue signaling.
Right.
It was bogged down by plot points that weren't necessary and didn't really give us payoff in the end.
Right.
So there were moments where he actually nailed Sam's character, like when I just said, when Sam tells Isaiah, I'm not going to stop fighting for this country. That is a true essence of Sam Wilson. And there were other moments too, but there were other times, like you said, where it was, again, the speech you were talking about. That's Sam would not do, like, that's not, I don't see Sam doing that. From what we've seen of Sam Wilson throughout this, throughout his MCU journey, throughout this series, even, it was too much. And the same with Bucky. Again, there were moments where he nailed Bucky, although I have to probably put more of that on Sebastian Stan's performances.
Yeah. I mean, this is what, the 6th time now he's come out as Bucky and killed it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think Spellman, this came off as someone who has, potential, but really needs some years or to clean up his craft, because again, there were moments where he did just fantastic work on the show, and then moments where it just fell flat.
Right.
Not just from a narrative standpoint, but a character arc standpoint.
I agree. I do agree with that. Okay, so you sent this article, and apparently, I'm curious as to. It says it's official, or officially in the works. So Captain America 4 officially in the works from Falcon and Winter Soldier showrunner, which is Malcolm Spellman. So yeah, it says here that Anthony Mackie will headline his own film as Captain America, with Captain America 4 from Marvel Studios. Spellman will return to pen the script with Dallin Musson, which will likely continue the adventures of Sam Wilson as he embraces his role as the new Star-Spangled Adventurer. Given how the finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier shaped up on Disney Plus, this is not surprising. And after all of the teases the show creators made about a second season, this is the next logical step. The Hollywood Reporter is saying casting and directing prospects are currently unknown. So, but it seems unlikely that the project would continue without Mackie or having the Winter Soldier in there.
Mm-hmm.
I will say there's one thing. I'm really happy Chris Evans didn't show up.
You know what? What is the word you like to use all the time?
Gravitas.
That's me. What's your word?
Blasphemy.
No.
Sedition.
Restraint.
Oh, Farfignugan. Oh no, you're right.
Yeah,
restraint. I do like to say restraint. Yes, they had restraint. I was shocked. It's probably because Chris Evans was busy, doing something stupid.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to put on that old man makeup.
Well, he took all the stupid with him. Remember?
Yes, he did.
So
about that article, one of my buddies, he actually sent it to in our chat earlier, and what I said was I love that Mackie is getting his rightful starring role.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I am not sold on Spellman being put in charge of creating that story. Yeah. And one of my buddies replied, I really like the show, but would like to see someone else in charge who can punch it up a bit.
I would not only like to see someone who is could punch it up, but someone who's just a better storyteller.
Yes, 100%. And man, I miss the Russos. I miss them so much.
The Russos are great. They're the best.
That Community, the Paintball Wars episode was great.
Yeah. Oh, he did that?
Yeah, they did that. That's how they got. Oh. That's how they got. They got on Kevin Feige's radar. Yeah.
Which one did they do? Did they do all 3 or 4?
I don't know if they
many there were.
Yeah, I don't know which ones they did.
The best one was with Sawyer from Lost.
I'll have to look that up, but yeah, that's how they got on Feige's radar, is because it's there was comedy, there was ensemble, there was that action.
Yeah, but it was 1 half-hour episode.
Yeah, but I mean that's what so I don't, because they did a lot of, like, they were in Community for a bit, I believe. So but yeah, he liked that, and again, probably some of their storytelling on there, and
Yeah.
I don't know what else they did. I know they did a couple other small things, but that's how they were, you know, that's one of the stories, they and both they and Feige have told about, how they got on his radar.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the Russos did like Arrested Development and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I will say, like, I just thought he didn't handle. Oh, they did. He did Empire. That's the other thing he did as a producer and writer.
I never watched that.
Spellman didn't do any Community.
Oh no, I was talking about the Russos.
Oh, the Russos. Sorry. Yeah, no, the Russos did that. Yo, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
They did the one. No, I thought you were talking about Spellman. My bad. I got.
Oh
no. No, Spellman has done this Hip Hop Uncovered, Truth Be Told, His, Hers, The Truth, Empire, and then he is writing the screenplay for Muscle. I don't know what that is. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Empire, Our Family Wedding. He wrote the screenplay. The making of the Sopranos Road to Respect TV movie. He was the game writer. I don't know. Oh, and he was the game writer for the video game. Okay. He was in 40. He played Malcolm. And yeah, he hasn't done a whole lot. So this is the thing that's bothering me about Marvel, right? They're plugging these obscure people with not a lot of credits and throwing them into these like high budget things that maybe they're not quite ready for.
Yeah, and on one end, I like that they take chances, but at the same time, this is not just kind of a small series. This is something big, like you said. This is event television type stuff, especially with the budget and all that. And
I mean, it looked really good, but I put that on Kari Skogland, the director of every episode.
Yeah.
But like the director of the episode in TV is, one of the least. Oh, Carrie. Sorry, I keep calling her Kari. I don't know why. Carrie Skogland. Like, she did a great job directing this. And, I mean, she's done some interesting things. She did 5 episodes of The Handmaid's Tale. She did one of the episodes of Punisher. She did Walking Dead, The Americans, House of Cards, The Bastard Executioner, which, while that show was shit, it looked really good. Penny Dreadful, Sons of Liberty. She did all 3 episodes. Oh, cool. But yeah, so I mean, she killed it as the director.
There are some great shots in this series.
Yes.
I mean, just fantastic shots.
And to be honest, like, if this is what they're gonna do, then Spellman needs her because her visual storytelling saved a lot of that shit dialogue.
Yeah.
So I was texting Matt Mitchell earlier, and we were talking about Carly Morgenthau, and he wanted to know how she got into America, and I just said southern border. So yeah, I don't know. The Flag Smashers, like I think really the Flag Smashers is probably the last thing I want to talk about. Were the dumbest and most useless villains in the history of television.
They were bad. They were absolutely bad.
Like, not one of them could act.
No, they couldn't. No, they couldn't.
Not one single one.
And none of them had backbone. Because how many instances throughout the series would Carly do something and they would look at her like, "Oh my God, what do you think you're doing?" And then they would go along with it.
Well, and so Kelly always looked like she was about to cry, right?
Yes.
And some of the Flag Smashers looked like they just really needed to poop. Like they just had these weird, or I'm sorry, Aaron Kellyman, not Kelly. Kelly, Aaron, Carly, whatever. Memphis Nest looked like she was going to cry the whole time. And in reality, her character from Soilo, A Soy Wars Story, is not that much different than what they did with the Flag Smasher here. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't. I think of I just look at this and I think of the missed opportunities from this show.
Yep, should have, could, like, should have been, what should have been or could have been.
I would have liked to see one more episode where they were able to stretch what happened in this episode out, have it end on the cliffhanger of the Flag Smashers getting the hostages, right? And have Walker show up and then fade to black.
Yeah,
and then stretch out that fight for 40 minutes, the last fight for 32-ish minutes, and then 10 minutes of wrap up that we got.
So this is the thing about the wrap up felt, I like some of the stuff. I like the the whole family barbecue thing, or at the dock, and I really like that. But one thing on the action, all the aerial stuff and with Sam's wings were fantastic.
Absolutely.
There was something lacking in the hand-to-hand combat that wasn't lacking in the previous two episodes. Right. Previous two episodes, the hand-to-hand fighting was great.
Well, I think finding a stunt double for Carly Morgan, that was probably kind of hard. Because I don't think Erin Kellyman did her own stunts. Whereas, what's her name? Sharon Carter, just totally.
Emily Van Camp.
Emily Van Camp can do some of that stuff. And but yeah, I don't think they had the same level of stunt choreography.
And one of the things that, in the,
or
I think
fight
it was the Den of Nerds.
Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, like the Den of Nerds mentioned that there was a lot of reshoots in this episode, which
really?
Again, I can't confirm or deny. As far as, and that's when he was mentioning some of the issues that we're talking about right now with the fights and the abandoned warehouse type stuff in this episode, particularly. And he mentioned some of the shots with GSP and stuff, and again, I don't know for a fact, but there was just something off about that hand-to-hand action and some of the stuff we saw. Just everything, especially that last half hour, or actually most of the episode. I'm not going to even say the last half hour, with the confrontation with Sam and Bucky and Walker and the Flag Smashers. It felt rushed. And nothing how we talk about having a beat to pause for whether it be a joke or an action spot, and there was none of that. And it wasn't like it was frenetic. There's a difference between frenetic action and then action that's just kind of bland but still doesn't have that pause beat,
right?
And that this was that. And that as much as anything else was disappointing, because if the action was on point, I would have still been disappointed with this episode. Don't get me wrong, but it could have saved it, at least half a point for me.
Yeah. So,
but yeah,
I will say I thought they fought to end Project Insight, yet like the Red Wings were able to face recognize everybody in the helicopter and figure out who was a pilot.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
That was kind of creepy. And then I feel like we were missing an end credit scene where Joaquin put the wings on and took off.
Yes. That would have been cool.
Because not having
Torres, you need a wingman?
Not having Torres in this episode was a miscarriage of justice.
Yes. I really like his character.
That's not hyperbole at all.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. Like, all right, so out of let's see, what can we do here? I'm trying to think of some measurement system that we haven't done yet. Oh, out of busted up 10 Captain America shields, out of 5, what do you give it?
I give it a 3. It unfortunately it's a slide back from the last 2 weeks, which in my opinion were added, was so good, and I was so looking forward to this finale because of what the last 2 weeks did, but it was a backslide for me.
Well, last week was written by Dallin Musson, and the week before was Derek Kolstad, and the week before that was Derek Kolstad. The Derek Kolstad episodes 3 and 4 were probably my two favorite episodes because they were Zemo-y. Yeah, I'm going 2.5.
Yeah.
This was almost as bad as the pilot.
Yeah, it was. And again, some of the stuff it had like that Sam speech with Isaiah, which I really liked, even though it was short. The suit.
I thought the U.S. agent suit was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but
I love that he got.
Wanna, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was about to say I love John Walker getting a win.
Yes. So, but there will be plenty of people who are mad about that. But yeah. And then the mid-credit scene was just stupid.
It's like, yeah.
It's like we already know this. Like it insulted my intelligence because we knew who she was from the minute she showed back up.
Yeah, and I do think that she's going to play a role in the upcoming D+ series. I don't know which one, maybe Armor Wars or something like that. But
Secret Invasion.
Because I know she was talking about the tech she can get a hold of, so it'll be interesting. Right. Like, I mean, again, I want to know more about her and her, what happened in those 5 years, because again, she is very bitter, and that's how she became the power broker. Let's be honest. So, I want to delve more into her character.
A tokenized version of the power broker.
Yes,
to quote our good, or the guy we're a fan of. We don't know him. He's not our friend. Eric D. July, young Ripa 59.
Be best friends.
I feel like we would get along with him. I don't know. We might annoy him because we're not like big L libertarians. So anyway, all right. So I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna record. So we're recording this on Friday. So this episode comes out on Sunday. So after you listen to this episode, Sunday night, Monday, sometime, the commentary for this episode will be up on our Patreon. If you want to check it out, it's gonna be like Hulk Hogan versus Zeus, no holds barred. Darryl's gonna wear silver bracelets and just cling them together, making sparks over and over again.
Yeah, and let's not forget I don't know when we're gonna, maybe Monday or Tuesday as well, gonna have a standalone for Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm. I'm cautiously optimistic about that.
Yeah, I was trying to watch it today just because I wanted something to do, but I was too much going on, so I just stopped watching it.
Okay,
it was like
so yeah, I left for the gym this morning, 6:30ish, and I had 2 meetings. I got back from the gym, and the only time I had available during the day was 12 to 1. And my meeting that was supposed to end at 12 went until 12:20.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah. I luckily, was able to get through the whole episode, around lunch. So.
Gotta love those type of days.
No, I'm very tired. Yeah. So.
Yeah. That was sarcasm.
I know. I don't understand sarcasm.
You're too tired.
No, I don't. I mean, I've just never understood it. I don't understand why people use it. It's only my native tongue.
That is about as honest as you can get right there.
Well, I love sarcasm because then people don't ever know, am I being serious or not when I say something horrible. So
they just they'll walk away, and then they look over their shoulder at you like,
huh?
Okay.
It's like the meme with the one black dude who's like, huh? You know what I mean? Like he kind of sprinkles up the one eye and raises his lip, and he's like questioning face. Anyway, but yeah, the U.S. agent suit, by the way, is fantastic too. They did amazing costuming. on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably the best thing. Real quick, throwback to Shang-Chi. Why do they always use hip hop in Asian previews?
I swear the trailer music, that's absolutely true, and I don't know why. And number two, the trailer music that I've been seeing recently has been, to say subpar is letting it off easy.
Yeah.
I'll just keep it
if that had been a more like orchestral score to some of that stuff, it would have been kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, or even some sort of, region appropriate music.
Yeah,
Anyway. All right. Cool. Well, on that note, any last words?
No, looking forward to Mortal Kombat though.
Mortal Kombat.
No, it's Mortal Kombat.
Ow.
Fight.
Get over here. I know. I'm thinking about dragging out the PS3 so I can play Mortal Kombat 10.
PS3, wow.
Or I'm thinking I might just go buy Mortal Kombat 11 tonight. But
I was about to say 11. I think it's on sale. It's on one of those. They're in their spring sale, so might be on there.
Anyway, all right, we'll keep going forever. All right, thanks guys for listening. We'll see you later this week.
Peace out.
The Infamous Podcast is recorded in Kings Mills, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. You can find new episodes every Sunday on Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, our website, or anywhere podcasts are downloaded. This show is hosted by Darryl Jasper and me, Brian Tudor. To find more information about the show, visit us at infamouspodcast.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Infamous Podcast to keep up with the show. We also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/infamouspodcast. We have some great rewards for our patrons and are looking for help to grow the show to bring you more of the content you want to hear. Music for this podcast is provided by Michael Henry from meetmichaelhenry.com. So, whenever you're listening to us, have a great day, night, evening, weekend, whenever it is, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.